So now you're going to learn your first eighth note groove. If I put the metronome back on, that's still counting quarter notes for us as 60 beats per minute. We're not playing quarter notes, we're going to be playing eighth notes. So step one is make sure you can feel exactly where that other note will be in between the quarter notes. So numbers wise, again, we would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now the beat's going to sound like this. And some of you will recognise straight away that's very similar to the one we've just done. So the one we've done, quarter notes. We started with bass drum and hi-hat together. This time we're going to hit hi-hat on its own afterwards. Then we're going to hit snare and hi-hat together. Then we're going to hit hi-hat on its own afterwards. So all we've got to do now is we say and after each of the notes and we hit the hi-hat on its own. So the first one, and then the and, then 2, and then the and. Now all we have to do is count to 2 at the moment because 3 and 4 is exactly the same thing. So let's try that really slow. 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and I'll demonstrate a little faster. Some of you going to get it just like that. Some of you going to take 3-4 minutes, 3-4 hours, 3-4 days, all right? Everyone learns at different paces. The main thing is that you understand what's going on and you get lots and lots and lots and lots of reps in. So really slowly, 1, and then the and, 2, and then the and. If you've got it already, start playing it a little bit faster. If you haven't got it yet, just keep going over it until you do. Something I'd like you to also start thinking about, we spoke about how we often use the bead to play a cymbal or a drum, and we also use the shoulder. Well, if I play with the shoulder like I'm doing most of the time when I'm hitting the hi-hats here, I get a different sound to if I play the top with the bead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play that eighth note groove with bead on the top to listen to how it sounds, and then I'm going to play shoulder on the edge. And if you remember, shoulder's here. So most of the time, you're going to be playing shoulder on the hi-hats, unless you want a nice thin sound, you're going to play on the top. And it's going to actually be the same when we start to add our crash cymbals in. Same on electric kits. If you're on an electric kit, same thing. You want to be hitting the edge of the crash cymbal at that angle there. We can hit the top, but it's a complete different sound from the edge. One thing on crash cymbals, a little extra knowledge for you here. When you're hitting the crash cymbal, if you start to get too low, the energy gets pushed straight into the metal and it can actually crack. Even though it's made of metal, it can actually still crack your cymbals. So you want to make sure that you're hitting it at just the right angle here, nice and shallow, so you're hitting it and letting the cymbal move after you've hit it, like this. You might see people doing this kind of thing, hitting it sideways. Most of that is just for aesthetics because it kind of looks cool. Sometimes you're going to see people trying to get it so that the cymbal makes kind of a constant shh sound instead of psh, 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 and that kind of stuff can help with that. At the moment, all you got to think about is making a lot of noise when you're hitting these crash cymbals. Let's talk about then a fill to go with that eighth note groove. Well, if we play an eighth note groove with an eighth note fill, then the amount of notes that we're hitting doesn't change. So we may play the fill, we've already done this one. And you can hear it's exactly the same. If I slow it down a little. Now what you may notice there is that the feel is really slow now, right? So slow that it makes you want to play it faster. So what we often do when we're playing 8th note grooves and we want a bit of a more full or fancy feel is we jump up to 16th notes. So 16th notes mean that if we go back to talking about having a cake, we've got our 4 chunks and we're going to cut each of those 4 chunks into 4 little tiny slices. So we're getting smaller note values. The 16th note feel, if we do exactly the same drums, we're going to play 4 on this drum, 4 on tom 1, 4 on the snare drum, and 4 down here. I like to use words, I used to use phonetics. So in other words, caterpillar, well the caterpillar part is the phonetics. So if we say caterpillar and go caterpillar, and then say caterpillar, caterpillar, it makes it nice and easy, so like this. Caterpillar works really well. However, obviously some of you guys are going to want to learn the correct way. And the correct way is to say 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Right, a little bit more mouthful. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Well, why have those notes been chosen even? Because we can say real quick 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Now that's going to happen sometimes. What actually happened there? Well, as I went to move from this drum here, I caught on the way up. And so you guys are going to have that problem sometimes where you can't get your hands up quick enough. Well, how do you fix that problem? Well, what I would practice, I'd figure out what my hands are doing just one hand at a time. So my right hand is physically doing this. It's playing 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. So I'd get used to lifting my hand up enough, and it was my left hand that wasn't very good. So I practice that on its own. I go. Then when I put them together, it should have improved. So that is 8th note groove, 16th note feel. Go practice, you can do this.